And welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas here with you, visiting with Susan Somerville and Brian Hollingsworth, and we're talking about the wonderful things that take place at Akron Children's Hospital. And in particular, we're talking about this awesome gala coming up November 30th for Project Ed Bear. Okay, before the break, you told us that some of these items are original from like 1977. Star Wars Episode 4 things that are autographed by the original cast. How in the world did you get your hands on some of these things, Susan?
Well, if I give away my source, then everyone will know. But I will tell you that they are signed and authenticated. Everything's authenticated. So everyone walks away with their certificate and everything in hand that they need.
Well, that alone is worth attending the evening, just to be able to come away with one of those gems. That's quite a prize. And then for the Downton Abbey fans as well. We've got Downton Abbey stuff. So,
yes.
My goodness.
And Game of Thrones.
But
wow. I will tell you, the thing that means the most to a great deal of us that are at the gala are at the other things that go up for auction in the oral auction are items that the children make.
Oh, my, how neat.
So we have plates that the children have made, and if the child's well enough to be there, they're there, and they get to walk up on stage with their plate.
Oh, neat.
And people bid, and the look on their faces when, it hits 500, 600. I mean, it's just amazing to look on their little faces and see that. It like I said, it ends up being a night that the kids never forget. And that is our primary goal, and everything else falls into place from there. We always get the funding we need. We always get what we need because we concentrate on the children, and that's exactly what I believe.
Let's talk about the children a little bit more. How closely do you get to work with these families and enjoy the victories right along with them?
I have become very close to a few families. I am not in the trenches every day. I'm at the hospital currently several times a week because there's a young woman in there, a young lady. She was 8 when her cancer arrived, and she is still battling, and she's, 21. Oh. So she is in there, and I am in visiting her very often. And I have several times throughout the year, I will see who's going to be in clinic. I'll put something out there, through social media to my group, to the group of parents, and say, hey, who's coming to clinic for treatments, or who's going to be there? And I come and I bring presents and I bring gifts and I come up to see them. Like I said, I have a few that I have become very close to. My personal goal is to love from a distance, but that doesn't always work out that way. So
famous last words, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have, like I said, I have become very close. But I will tell you, the nurses and the doctors are my heroes. I watch them. I watch that, and that is a gift. That is a gift. That is a calling, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing. So I've spent hours in the room with several of the patients, and just to watch that interaction, and they're the ones in the trenches.
Yeah, certainly are. Just amazing. Well, don't sell yourself short. We certainly appreciate what you're doing as well. And we want to just get this on everybody's calendar now. This is the gala taking place November 30th. Doors open at 5. Only $30 to attend because we want you to bid. And no, you don't have to rent a tux at all or go buy a fancy gown. Just put on your Princess Leia costume and your Luke Skywalker and show up and have a wonderful time. Brian, let's move into the other services that this hospital, this wonderful place, provides for families with children going through an illness.
Sure. I think one of the challenges is that when you have cancer, you can be in the hospital for for weeks and months at a time. And when you're, a child, you are also going to school, and so we want to make sure that you are keeping up with your schoolwork, although the kids might not be thinking about that all the time. It's
not their
important.
priority. Huh?
Right. That's important that they, be able to keep up with their schoolwork. So we have a teacher that will come in and will work on the homework assignments with the kids and help to hold them accountable and kind of help them through any of the challenges that they're having. And that's another area that's funded by philanthropy. That's an area that we wouldn't be able to offer otherwise.
That's fantastic. And what you're just saying that, unless you're going through it, these things are not on your mind. And that's something that most of us would not think of. Oh, yeah, what about not falling behind at school? So to be able to have that tutoring service is so important. These are paid teachers, or this is a volunteer?
No, it's a paid teacher. They come in regularly and go around as they see who's in the clinic, and they check in with them and see what homework they need to be doing, and they act as a liaison between the schools too to make sure that they're keeping up with everything.
One teacher does this for
Yep.
everyone?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, because you're talking about what age groups here?
So it's all ages. It goes from
K through?
Yeah, all the way up.
Wow.
Then you'll continue to be seen sometimes until you're 25 or 30.
So even college level work, they're helping them a bit?
Yeah. They will help them with that. Although usually by the time you get there, you're a little bit more self-reliant.
Right.
Another service that they offer is they will actually go out into the schools and they will explain to the other classmates just what it means to have cancer. So when the child's hair starts to fall out or they have other adverse effects, then the classmates can understand and they just have that knowledge, and they wouldn't fall back on teasing or anything like that.
How successful is that? Because children can be cruel, and there is a problem with bullying, but the child battling cancer's got enough on their plate that they don't need those other battles as well. How does that work as far as the receptiveness of their classmates?
I think it's ignorance breeds fear. I think it's all about bringing that knowledge. As soon as people understand that this is what they're going through, people understand a lot more. So I think that while children can be cruel, they can also be incredibly kind, and we see that all the time. The people that will bring in, they'll bring in teddy bears and books and things just to help out their classmates. They'll come in, they'll visit. So we have a separate teen playroom and an infant playroom because they both stay on the same floor, and so we didn't want the teens to have to play with little kid toys and vice versa. So, but you'll see there'll be teens that will come in and visit their friends and really try to help them out through some of the most difficult things that they're going through.
That's so wonderful. And as you say, again, getting it onto someone's radar and just addressing it, and that's a detail that might have gotten missed otherwise. But boy, to be able to think of all the facets of a child's life as they're going through this and coming alongside them all the way. Yeah. Not just cancer being treated at Akron Children's Hospital. What else is taking place there?
So we just opened up our new neonatal intensive care unit. It's premature babies. We recently expanded it to a 75-bed unit, and even though you'd think it'd be hard to fill 75 beds, it's pretty much always full. So we're actually expanding into 100 beds. We get premature babies that come from area hospitals, and so they will come and be treated at the hospital. And we recently went from a pod structure to private rooms, and that makes a big difference.
Wow. Yes.
So I think
certainly.
At the hospital, it's all about restoring, having fun with kids, but also restoring that dignity. And so I think that's why we're very grateful to all the volunteers that give their time, and to all the volunteer groups like Project Ed Bear that reach beyond themselves to help our patients to just be kids, just to have fun and to hopefully not focus on what they're going through, but focus on how they're going to get through it.
Just reclaiming a little bit of that childhood, and
exactly.
Just talking about it, I see your heart. What you kind of already touched on this, but what do you see makes it such a special place?
It really is the volunteers. I work for the hospital, but the volunteers come in and give their time and time again. When I look at what Susan does, she's not getting paid for it. So just that she comes up and visits the kids and just she rallies all these people together to do things for our patients. It's just amazing. So I tip my hat to them, and the hospital couldn't survive without volunteers that come in and continually give their time and their talent and, in my case, their treasure too. So,
So good. All right. Well, we are talking about fundraising with Brian Hollingsworth here, and want to know, besides attending the gala November 30th, what other opportunities are there for us to share? Just take what's in our hand and come alongside and help you with what you're doing.
Sure. So for instance, I think attending the gala is great. You can also make a donation to our cancer center. You can give to. We have a fund that funds Camp Ed Bear, and that helps to provide all the different fund activities that they have, in addition to what Project Ed Bear also provides. They've made sure that they set up this fund for it to be sustainable, but they still come and they're involved, and they bring so many different things. So
Can we give online? Is there a place on the website you can go? Okay.
If you just go to www.akronchildrens.org, there's a Donate Now button. It's a little yellow box, and then you can designate it to the cancer center or to wherever your heart desires.
Now, I know some groups who love to get together and just maybe have a teddy bear run or something like that. Can anyone just start something like this up? Or
Sure.
do they contact you first? How does this happen?
So if we do ask that if you are getting teddy bears or books or blankets, that you call our volunteer office. They're the ones that accept any donations of stuff, and so they can tell you kind of what they found works best and what doesn't work best. Like, we can't accept any like toy weapons or things like that, and we try not to have things with lots of like beads or sparkles, because a small child could swallow it. But they'll really give you some good guidance. But it's wonderful to see at Christmas time people bring in lots of toys and books, and we always need that throughout the year. Christmas time is when we kind of fill our stock and give it out, and then we build up the rest of the year.
That was my very next question. We've got Christmas coming up. These families already financially are under a lot of pressure because they're going through expensive medical treatments. They still want to give a nice Christmas to their children that are in the hospital, maybe siblings that are not in the hospital, but still to have a nice Christmas. So what's the best way? Are there some things that you're really looking for? Is there some place on the website that gives suggestions on nice Christmas presents or things that are really appropriate for what you're looking for?
Sure. If you go to akronchildrens.org/volunteers, it'll have like our wish list there of what we're looking for, and it'll make that way we can make sure that when you bring the toy in, we'll be able to get it right to the child that needs it.
Thank you so much. I can't believe we're out of time. Brian Hollingsworth, Susan Somerville, thank you so much for joining me this morning. For The Light 95.9, this is Susie Thomas, and this has been Our Community.